Solving 1 and 2 step equations. In order to solve equations, use the inverse operations. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations. Multiplication and division are inverse operations. When solving equations, ask the following questions. What variable needs to be isolated? What operation is performed to that variable? And what inverse operation is needed? So let's solve some 1 and 2 step equations. We're going to skip around. We're going to start with number 2. 11 plus x equals 4. We're going to get x by itself. We have 11 being added to it, so we're going to subtract 11 on both sides. I'm going to subtract on the left, and we're going to subtract on the right. So 11 minus 11 is 0. That leaves me x on the left, and 4 minus 11 is minus 7 on the right. So x is equal to negative 7. So let's check our answer by substituting negative 7 in for x in the original equation. So 11 plus a negative 7 is equal to 4. 11 plus a negative 7 is 4. 4 is equal to 4. So that checks. Let's go to number 4. X divided by negative 2 is equal to negative 10. So x is being divided by negative 2, so we're going to multiply the left by negative 2 and the right by negative 2. So negative 2x divided by negative 2 is x, and negative 10 times negative 2 is 20. So x is equal to 20. And let's check that in by substituting 20 back into the original equation. We have 20 divided by negative 2 is equal to negative 10. 20 divided by negative 2 is negative 10. Negative 10 is equal to negative 10. So that one checks. Let's go back to number 3. Negative 3 equals 1/5 x. So x is being multiplied by 1/5. Anytime a variable is being multiplied by a fraction, we are going to multiply by its reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1 over 5 is 5 over 1, or just 5. So we're going to multiply the right side by 5 and the left side by 5. So 5 times a negative 3 is a negative 15, is equal to 1/5 x times 5, which is just x. So x is equal to negative 15. Let's check this in our original equation. Negative 3 is equal to 1/5 times negative 15. Negative 3 equals negative 15 divided by 5, which is negative 3. So that one checks. Number 6. Now we'll start solving two-step equations. 5x minus 7 is equal to negative 22. We need to isolate x. It's being multiplied by 5. But first we need to add 7 to both sides. So we're going to add 7 to the left and to the right. And on the left, that's going to leave me 5x. And on the right, negative 22 plus 7 is negative 15. 5x is equal to negative 15. We're going to divide the left 5x by 5, and we're going to divide the right by 5. 5x divided by 5 is x. Negative 15 divided by 5 is negative 3. So x is equal to negative 3. Let's check that. 5 times a negative 3 minus 7 equals negative 22. Negative 15 minus 7 equals negative 22. Negative 22 equals negative 22. So that checks. Number 7, 13 minus 6x equals 31. We want to isolate x. It's being multiplied by a negative 6. So we're going to first subtract this 13. So we're going to minus 13 on the left. We're going to minus 13 on the right. And that's going to leave us with negative 6x equals 18. X is being multiplied by negative 6, so we're going to divide each side by negative 6. So x is equal to negative 3. So let's check that one. 13 minus 6 times negative 3 is equal to 31. So 13 minus 6, so we're going to write it as plus a negative 6 times negative 3 is equal to 31. So 13, and we have negative 6 times negative 3, which is a positive 18, is equal to 31. So 31 is equal to 31. So that one checks. Number 5, x divided by 4 minus 10 equals negative 6. So we have x being divided by negative 4 and then subtracted by 10. So let's add 10 to both sides. X over 4 is equal to negative 6 plus 10, which is 4. We have x being divided by 4, so we're going to multiply by 4 on the left and on the right. 4x divided by 4 is x. 4 times 4 is 16. So x is equal to 16. So let's check our answer. 16 divided by 4 minus 10 is equal to negative 6. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Minus 10 is equal to negative 6. 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Negative 6 is equal to negative 6. So that one checks. Let's go to number 9. 2/3 x plus 2 is equal to 10. X is being multiplied by 2/3 and then added a 2 to it. So let's move the 2 first. Let's subtract 2 on both sides. 2/3 x is equal to 8. So we have x, or the variable, being multiplied by a fraction. Anytime a variable is being multiplied by a fraction, we want to do the inverse by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. So we're going to multiply the left side by 3/2, and we're going to multiply the right side by 3/2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6x divided by 6 is going to give me just x. Now on the right side, I'm going to, since I'm multiplying by a fraction, I'm going to make this 8. Think of that as a fraction. So 8 over 1. So now I'm just going to multiply these fractions. 8 times 3 is 24. 1 times 2 is 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So x is equal to 12. So let's check our answer. 2/3 times x, which is 12. So I'm going to go ahead and make that a fraction. Plus 2 equals 10. All right. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3. So 24/3 plus 2 equals 10. 24/3 is 8 plus 2 is equal to 10. 10 equals 10, so that one checks. Number 8, 10 minus x divided by 7 is equal to 12. So we have x being divided by 7, so we're going to move the 10 first. We're going to subtract 10 on both sides. And that's going to leave me negative x over 7 is equal to 2. So we have x being divided by 7. So we're going to multiply each side by 7. Now in this instance we have negative x, which is really a negative 1x. So we really have 7 times a negative 1, which is a negative 7 divided by 7. So this is a negative x. And then we just have 2 times 7, which is 14. Well, I'm solving for x, not negative x, because remember, negative x is a negative 1x. So x is being multiplied by a negative 1, so I need to divide by a negative 1. So x is equal to negative 14. So let's see if that checks. 10 minus a negative 14 over 7 is equal to 12. 10 minus negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 2. 10 minus a negative 2 is 12. So 12 equals 12, so that one checks. And our final problem is number 1. 1/3 is equal to x minus 2/5. So we need to get x by itself. So we're going to add 2/5 to both sides. So we're going to add 2/5, and we're going to add 2/5. So negative 2/5 plus 2/5, the right side's easy, that's x. So now we have to add 1/3 and 2/5. So let's remember how we add fractions. We need a common denominator, 1/3 and 2/5. So let's just multiply the two denominators together. 3 times 5 is 15. So the common denominator is going to be 15. So now I need to calculate what the numerators are. I have 3 times what gives me 15? 5. So 1 times 5 is 15. 5 times what gives me 15? 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So that's 11/15. So x equals 11/15. All right, so let's check this one. 11/15 minus 2/5. Does that equal 1/3? So let's convert. The least common denominator here is 15. So we'll leave that one as 15. 11/15. We'll make this one a 15. We'll multiply by 3 to get to 15. And so 2 times 3 is 6. So 11 minus 6 is 5/15. 5/15 is 1/3, so it checks. And we're done.